So here our dividend is 73 and our divisor is 3. We have 73 divided by 3. And remember that the answer is quotient. We have two different format here. We're going to go ahead and work on the long division. Like I mentioned earlier, that the box method and the long division are exactly alike. The only difference with that is that we bring down the number in the long division. In the box method, we bring up the number. Okay? So let's go ahead and solve this long division. 73 divided by 3. We are not going to ask the question how many sets of 3 can we make out of 73 right away, because that is a little, it's going to take us a lot, So let's go ahead and work on the long division. We're going to go ahead and look at the very first digit in 73, which is 7. We're going to ask a question can we make a set of 3 if we have 7 candies? How many sets of 3 can we make? Can we do that? If the answer is yes, we can go ahead and work on it. As earlier, we found out that we can make 2 sets. So we can go ahead and write 2 on the top. And the next steps is we are going to multiply. We are going to multiply the answer to the divisor, which is 3. That will be 2 times 3. And the 2 times 3, your product is you're going to write it under the 7. So that would be 6. And after you multiply, the next steps, we already have the sign here, is we're going to subtract. We're going to subtract 7 minus 6. 7 minus 6 is 1. And because we have another number down here, up here, we are just going ahead and bring that down as the arrow suggested. Now we have 13. We're not going to say how many, we're not going to use just the one, but because they go together, now we have 13. We're going to ask them, how many sets of 3 can we make if we have 13 candies? Okay. So if you look at your multiplication chart, 12 is the highest number, which is closer to the 13, not 15, because you don't have enough if you're going to go for 15. So you have to make sure you have enough candies in your hand. Okay, look for the highest number in your multiplication chart under the 3 times table. We're using 3 times table because our divisor is 3. If our divisor is 4, you're going to look at the 4 times table, but our divisor is 3, so therefore you're going to look at the 3 times table. And if you look at it, 12 is the closest number to 13. And if you're going to look at on the right side, how many sets, if you have 12 candies, that will be 4. So 4 will go up here. Okay, so because now 4, now we know that the 12 is the answer, of course, and we have 4 sets. Now we're going to multiply 4, not 24, but 4. Okay, 4 times 3, and then the answer goes underneath this number right here, because we're done here. Don't worry about that, we're done here. So the answer goes down here. That will be 12. Okay, now again, the next steps after you multiply it is you are going to subtract. You subtract 13 minus 12 is 1. The next step is actually, bring it down, but because we don't have any numbers here or any number after 3, we stop here, and this will be our remainder. Because this number is lower than our divisor, that will be our remainder. So our answer will be 24, remainder 1. And again, the same thing over here, whatever we did earlier, we divide how many sets of 3 can you make if you have 7 candies. The answer is 2. And then the next steps is you multiply 2 times 3, that is 6. And then the next step, it says subtract. 7 minus 6 is 1. And it goes here. And then bring it up. You bring up the 1. It goes before the 3. Okay? Now we're done with that. The easiest way to do is cross this out. Because I see a lot of kids, they messed up. And they keep looking at the other number. Because we're done with this number right here in the first column. So make sure you ignore that. Do not cross out the 2 because this is your quotient. Your quotient is your answer. Do not cross out the first number on the yellow side. Okay. Now we have 13. You are going to ask, how many sets of 3 can I make if I have 13 candies? And we already know that we can make 4 sets. Okay, that will be your divide part right here. Now the next step is you multiply. Again, we are not multiplying 24. Wherever we stop, whatever number we end, that's the only number we're going to touch. Okay, we did not stop at the 2, we stop on the 4. So you're going to multiply 4 times 3, and that will be 12. Okay, now the next step is you subtract. We subtract 13 minus 12 is 1. And that is your final answer because it says bring it up. But we don't have any numbers here. So we don't bring it up and we just leave it alone. And that will be our remainder. If we cannot bring up a number, that means that number is our remainder. Okay? So that will be 24 remainder 1, which is the same thing with this other one. Now let's do this another one again. Okay, another example. I think this one is easier, so let's go ahead and use this one. So we have 56 divided by 4. Now if I were you also, you can go ahead and put this sign like this, because if you do that, oops, let me erase that because I'm not happy with the result. Okay, so let's go ahead, draw your line so you know that that's the same thing as this one, but it's in just different format. At least we don't get confused over here. This is very confusing a little bit, but this is really, I think in my opinion, is a lot easier. So now the same thing, we're going to look at our the dividend, the first number in our dividend, which is 5. We're going to, if the first number or in our dividend is higher than the divisor, that means that we can use it. Okay, so how many sets of 4 can we make if we have 5 candies? So we have 5 candies, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many bags can we make if we put 4 candies inside? So we only put 4 candies inside. That this doesn't have, we don't have enough, so we were only able to make 1 set. So we put 1 up here. So the next step, we divide that. That's the first one. We did that already. The next step is we multiply. We multiply 1 times 4, which is 4, and it goes underneath the 5. See, we're just going down. Okay, we're not putting up here because we need to fill this in first before we move to the next box, to our next column. Okay, so that will be 4. And now the next step is we're going to subtract. Subtract what? 5 minus 4. Okay, there's 2 right here. 5, you see we're going down. 5 minus 4 is 1. So we can go ahead and write 1 right here. Now the next steps right here, it says bring it up. Okay, bring it up. So again, we're going to bring it up here and we're writing it before the 6. We're not writing it after, but before the 6. So it goes 1 goes here. Now we repeat again. We do the same process again. The next process is we're going to divide again. What are we going to divide? 16. Oh, I forgot to tell, by the way. Remember, because we're done with this, we go ahead and cross this out so it's out of the way. Okay, now we're going to ask this again. We got 16 candies. How many bags can I make if I put 4 candies in each bag? So if you look at it and look really hard, you're able to make 4 bags out of 16, if you were able. So if you draw 16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's 1 bag right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't have any extras right here. So, and of course, if you look at your 4 times table, you will see 16 and how many sets did you make. If you have 16 candies, you will see on the left side, you will see 4 on the left side. Okay, so the answer is 4. Now 4 times 4, again, we're not done yet. We multiply 4, not 1, not 14, but 4. Again, we are not going to touch this because this is where we stop. We're only going to multiply the where we stop. Okay, we're going to use that number where we end or where we stop. So we have 4 times 4. So 4 times 4 is 16. We write 16 right here. And 16 minus 16 is 0. 0 means nothing. We don't have any extra. Therefore, we don't have any remainder. Okay? Now you're going to try it on your own.